That night, Topkapi Palace was swallowed by darkness. The silence was broken only by the heavy footsteps echoing off the stone walls. Every step was a warning. Every sound a signal that the Sultan's executioners were coming closer. The once glorious corridors of the palace now trembled under the shadow of despair. As Sultan Ibrahim faced his final moments, Ibrahim, the 18th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, was about to meet his end in his own palace, at the hands of his own men. In his chamber, he held his breath, shaking with fear and panic, convinced the door would burst open at any second. His eyes darted around in terror, and with trembling lips, he whispered a desperate prayer. "Ya Rabbi, save me." But in that moment, neither the throne nor the magnificence of the palace meant anything anymore. All that remained was helplessness. But here's the real question. How could an Ottoman sultan end up so lonely, so defenseless, and so powerless in his own palace? The truth is, Ibrahim's tragic fate had been written long before he took the throne. Known as one of the most unusual and tragic rulers in Ottoman history, Ibrahim spent his youth locked inside the palace, in what was called the caves. The cage. This system was designed to protect princes, but for him, it was nothing less than a prison. He grew up under the strict rule of his brother, Sultan Murad IV. Constant fear, constant surveillance, constant pressure. Every word, every action was watched. Even the smallest mistake could mean punishment. That environment scarred him deeply, leaving behind fear, loneliness, and mistrust. The cage was not just walls and locked doors. It was psychological. Isolation. Ibrahim, cut off from the outside world, lived in silence with nothing but his own thoughts and fears. Sometimes he clung to a toy. Sometimes a bird he could see through the window was his only friend. Historians believe this childhood explains why, later in life, Ibrahim would suffer sudden bursts of anger, unpredictable behavior, and fragile emotions. Growing up under constant threat left him vulnerable and unstable. Then, in 1640, everything changed. Sultan Murad IV died unexpectedly, and the forgotten prince was suddenly placed on the throne. After years in the cage, Ibrahim was now the ruler of the Ottoman Empire. Historians call this one of the most shocking turning points in Ottoman history. At first, the empire appeared glorious, grand ceremonies, luxury, and lavish celebrations. But behind the gold and silk, Ibrahim was fragile. His emotions swung wildly. One moment he was calm, the next furious. These sudden shifts earned him the infamous nickname Mad Ibrahim. But his reign wasn't just politics. It was also love, rivalry, and endless palace intrigues. At the center of it all was his mother, Kayksım Sultan. So, who was Kayksım Sultan? Dorn Anastasia. She rose from a Devshirme girl from Bosnia to become one of the most powerful women in Ottoman history. The wife of Sultan Ahmed I, the mother of Murad IV and Ibrahim, she was more than just a mother. She was the empire's hidden ruler, the queen of palace intrigues. But Ibrahim's heart belonged to someone else. Turhan Sultan. Beautiful, clever, and ambitious, she quickly became the Sultan's favorite. Their love would shake the foundations of the palace because from it was born a prince who would later rule the empire, Mehmed IV, remembered in history as Mehmed the Hunter. This love story, however, unleashed a storm of jealousy. The rivalry between Kayksım Sultan and Turhan Sultan turned into one of the bloodiest power struggles in Ottoman history. Two women, locked in a deadly battle for influence, one with experience, intelligence, and ambition, the other with youth, beauty, and the Sultan's love, and caught in the middle, Sultan Ibrahim himself, a ruler torn between his mother and his beloved, unable to choose, and dragging the empire into chaos. By 1648, the empire was crumbling. Wars were lost, the treasury was empty, and the people were furious. Inside the palace, the struggle between Kayksım and Turhan raged on. Outside, the streets filled with anger. Finally, the people and the Janissaries rose up. They had had enough of Mad Ibrahim. And then came the night of betrayal. The sound of footsteps echoed through Topkapi once again. Executioners marched to the Sultan's chamber. Ibrahim prayed, sobbed, and begged for mercy. But there was none at just 33 years old. Sultan Ibrahim was strangled to death in his own palace by his own men. His 7-year-old son, Mehmed IV, took the throne. And the deadly struggle between Kaiksem Sultan and Turhan Sultan only grew fiercer, a story for another time. But the fall of Sultan Ibrahim leaves us with a chilling lesson. A ruler can sit on the most powerful throne in the world and still be utterly alone. An emperor can command millions and yet be helpless in the hands of his own people. The throne, the palace, treasures, none of it lasts forever. Sultan Ibrahim's story is just one of the darkest chapters in Ottoman history. Behind it, there are countless more secrets, betrayals, and tragedies waiting to be uncovered in the episodes to come. We'll dive into bloody endings of princes, poisoned intrigues of sultans, and betrayals that shook the Ottoman throne to its core. If you want to keep exploring these hidden stories, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because this isn't just history. This is a journey where emperors, sultans, and forgotten souls come alive again. Get ready. The darkest secrets of the Ottoman Empire are only just beginning.